Well, hello friends, and welcome to another week of austionline. We're about 6 or so weeks now into the current lockdown 2.0, and so I thought it might be worth just giving you a quick word of encouragement, and particularly just to give you an update of some family news of things that are going on in the midst of church, in the midst of this season, and especially for your encouragement. And I think it's good for your encouragement that in the midst of all the kind of gloom and doom and all the hard things that are going on, it's wonderful to focus on some of the good news and some of the wonderful things that God is doing amongst us. Again, it's wonderful as you engage with the book of Philippians, and in chapter 4 of Philippians, Paul speaks to the church there about not being anxious about anything, but in all things, bringing all of our situations, our prayers and petitions, our needs to God in prayer. Paul also goes on to talk about that he's learned the secret of contentment. And then he goes on to speak also about the peace of God, which surpasses understanding. And finally, at verse 8, he says, finally, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Friends, it's a wonderful gift that we have as Christians, this wonderful art of thankfulness and gratitude, that even in the midst of hard times, we can still be encouraged to think about those good things that are going on around us and in us and amongst us, and we can be giving thanks to God for those good things. And so what I want to do is just spend a few moments now just sharing with you some of the family news of things which are worth praising God for in both prayer and just for your awareness as a family of God. And also just that idea of those things which are praiseworthy, those things which are excellent. Let's spend just the next few minutes thinking about those things, and let me encourage you to even consider in your own life those things which you can be thankful for, that you can be grateful for even this week. Let me share just a couple of those things with you. Well, one of the things that we can be very grateful for is that the deputation week with our new gospel partners, Dan and Marg, has now drawn to an end. And I'd like to thank Dan and Marg for all of their hard work, especially in the midst of this season. But they've done great effort in trying to meet as many people as possible in the midst of this season. And I'd like to also just thank the many brothers and sisters in Christ, those who could make some sort of effort to make the connection over the week throughout the many Zoom meetings. And can I encourage us as a church to scan the QR code in our weekly email in order to continue to get those regular updates with Dan and Marg. They will be leaving in just a couple of months' time to start work as teachers at Whitman College. And so can I just encourage you for your prayers and for your awareness. In regards to prayers for Dan and Marg, even towards the end of this week, Marg's mother is actually in hospital and with a difficult prognosis with regards to her heart. And so can I just encourage us as a chance to pray for particularly Marg and her mother. The wonderful news is that Marg's mother is with Jesus Christ. She has a saving faith in Jesus Christ. So we can give thanks for that, but we can just pray in this final time for Marg's mother and for Marg as well, and for the family. So that's just one thing to just bring before you in terms of just praise for God, that not only are we saved by the gospel, but we also have the opportunity to have gospel partnership. And isn't that a wonderful gift from God, and something that is admirable and noble and lovely, that we can actually share and partner together in the work of the gospel in our season. So that's one thing just to bring before you. Another great thing just to bring to your attention is this wonderful ministry that's taking place amongst us, even in the midst of this COVID pandemic season. And I'm talking about For the Love Of, which you can see behind me here. The For the Love Of has been a ministry initiative that came out of the first lockdown. And there's a team of wonderful volunteers who have been still chipping away at this over the last several weeks and months. You might have noticed that it was picked up in the local media just about a week ago and has been promoted. And what's wonderful, and for your information, is that during this particular lockdown, they've chosen to actually go online. And so every Friday night, there's a cooking lesson, and there's dozens of people engaging with this. I, myself, and my family, we engaged with it on last Friday night. as Will Haynes taught us how to cook this delicious chicken meal. And there's lots of banter and there's kind of conversations going on online. This week, Penny is the cook. And so she will have done it on Friday night. It's every Friday night during this pandemic. Can I encourage you to join the Facebook group if you haven't already done that? And again, just as something good, something social, and a chance to do something different is to possibly just go online on a Friday night and join for the love of. Just again, another thing to be praying about. This idea that in the midst of this season, we don't want to just be insular and looking inward and looking to our own needs, but we want to actually be trying to love our neighbours and our friends. And this is one of our concrete ways that as a church, we're trying to do that. So can I encourage you in your prayers for your awareness, if you have the energy and the inclination to go jump online. It's actually quite a social thing. It's quite a fun thing. And we've had a blast as a family. And so I just want to commend that to you as well for your prayers. Well, friends, I'm just standing out the front of our Moore Street ministry facility. And as you can see, there's a bunch of scaffolding that's now up on the outside in the car park. And that's just to share with you the news and development that one of the things that we can be thankful to God for in this season is our wardens and our parish council, our leaders, and a group of volunteers as well. One of the goals or one of the things that was discussed is just to try and, I guess, make the most of this time in the midst of the lockdown. Whilst we're not able to use the building, we can still use this time wisely and well to upgrade the facilities. And so one of the ways in which that's happening is behind me, you can see the facade is getting a bit of a facelift. And also inside, the AV system is being upgraded. And another project that's taking place at this time as well is at St David's Thirroul. The annex foundations are being looked at and addressed as well at this time as well. So there's a bunch of building works that are taking place at this time. We thought we'd bring this to your attention for your prayers and for your awareness. And again, just to thank God for not just the physical stuff that's going on, but that idea or that concept of wanting to make the most of this opportunity, but also to have some positive things that are taking place during this season as well. So thank God for his goodness to us, his provision. We thank God for our wardens and our parish council and those volunteers that make this possible as well. A big word of thanks to them and for your encouragement. Friends, one final praise point, I think, and one prayer point just to share with you and encourage you with is that for the frontline COVID workers, there are many in our community, doctors, nurses, healthcare workers that are helping us as a society to address this pandemic with vaccinations especially. And that's both within our broader general community, but even as a church family, we have many people that are working in that space, and we want to be praying for them and supporting them as they seek to care and love our surrounding community in that particular way. And for your particular prayer points, I want to just share with you some really exciting, wonderful news. Andrew Bartlett, many of you may know Barty and the family, the Bartlett family. If you don't know them, they worship with us at the moment at our 6 p.m. gathering, but they've been with the church for many, many years. Andrew has just been made the head of the new immunisation clinic in Wollongong, which is the mass vaccination clinic for the whole of the Illawarra. So this is a huge job. And just on behalf of the church, we want to congratulate Andrew on that appointment, but also we want to be supporting him and praying for him in the midst of great burden of, I guess, responsibilities as he leads that team, as he leads that endeavour in the coming weeks and months ahead. Andrew, congratulations, and we will be praying for you. And Andrew gave me permission to share this news with the church family. And when I asked him, how can we be praying for him? Characteristically, he said, actually, the thing you can be praying for is my family, that as he takes up that burden and that time commitment and that responsibility, that the family can be cared for as well in the midst of that. And especially for Maya, his daughter, who is currently a Year 12 student. And so again, for your prayers, brothers and sisters, pray for the many Year 12 students across the state, but also even within our church family. I think there's close to a dozen of them this time who are currently doing the HSC. And so particularly with trials coming up, that's a very stressful time, not just for the students, of course, but also for the many teachers and for the leadership of schools that we have in our midst as well. Friends, thank God that even in the midst of the COVID pandemic, that there are doctors and there are nurses and there are those that are on the front line that are helping to address this issue for us as a society. We want to be praying for all of them, but especially this week, we want to say congratulations to Andrew. We want to be praying for you as you hopefully launch this immunization clinic, vaccination clinic. I think it's meant to be opening this Monday. So for your prayers as well.